Okay, so today we're going to talk, before I go into the video, I want to talk a little bit about moisture eliminator or moisture absorber, okay? And this is a DIY, and you can save a lot of money, okay? Now, there are two known things, okay? It's called silica gel or silica pellets, okay? And it's actually in cat litter. Second thing is called sea salt, and also known as sodium chloride or ice melters. Okay, in my case, I have been experimenting, and this is my batch right here. This is my new batch. I just dumped some out and I just put new in. There's kind of moisture a little bit. And this has been sitting around for about, I don't know, close to 4 months. And that's all I got because our basement is not that bad. Okay? And that's all DIY. And actually, I'm going to show you how to make it later. But before I go into this, I want to make sure to cover a few things. Okay? Now, there are two things that you can get, and this is your choice. Okay, you can go and get silica gel, silica pellets, which is the crystal silica pellets, and that is cat litter. You can find them at the store, and I will probably post a link or something. I found one bag, 4 pounds. For under $5. Yep. Now imagine, okay? They sell a moisture absorber or moisture eliminator, 10 ounces, for $6. I can get 4 pounds for under $5. So you know how many I'm going to make? Comparing to the prices you pay for one, I can make about 13 of these. Can you imagine? Yep. And that's why I said, I'm going to teach you how to save money, not just to save money and do it yourself. And you're going to save a lot of money doing it. And it doesn't take much. Next to nothing, and maybe 5 minutes of your time. Well, let's say if you got to make like 10 of these or something, it'll take you like, maybe an hour. But you get to keep all these. It's not a throwaway thing. Let me pan this down a little bit. It's not really a throwaway thing. So you get to keep them for the rest of your life. You just have to rinse it out like I did here. I rinsed it out before I did it. And now I leave it right here. And it absorbs the moisture. And it sink down. And that's what you get out of there. You see that? I know it's kind of nasty, but I'm sorry. That's how it is. See? It's actually dripping still. Okay? It's because it's absorbing the moisture, and this was in our basement. Our basement is dirt, so it does kind of have a little moisture in them. I actually have a fan, and it actually keeps that up as well. I'm going to do a video next on that. Okay. Now let's get into what are the main causes of condensation, excessive moisture from rain, snow, warm and cold air. They usually fight to each other and create moisture. Other causes like in the laundry room, appliances like microwave, and cooking. During the summer, it can cause by your AC. In the winter, it can cause by your furnace. So, numerous things. Okay? Now, what does these moisture absorber or moisture eliminator do? They just take the moisture out of the air, the excess moisture out of the air, and that way it'll be more pleasant to breathe. That's number one. And it prevent musty odor. That's the number one thing, actually, is the musty odor. Okay? Especially in closets and stuff. And in basement. Now, moisture can be effective to manage your humidity. If you have like damping problem, sometimes from leaking pipes, excessive moisture, sweat pipes in the basement. People use them around like fireplaces, near plants, and AC, air conditioner AC during the summer. If you know, some people stick this close to it so it can absorb it. A furnace in the winter. RV living. Yes, a lot of people who live in RV, they always complain about moisture. So this is probably good for RV people too, to save money. If you live in an RV or a van life, living RV and van life, you probably want to view this video because then it'll be helpful for you. Now, the main thing is to prevent mildew, like mildew or mold stains, condensation. These things act like a humidifier, and moisture damages. That's what mostly is. But once you have moisture damages and you don't have, window clear or whatever, blah, 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 mildew and mold stain will start to damage stuff like carpet, under carpet. I've seen them under water heater, to damping basement, to it. Actually, sometimes people use this around pellet stove and pellets too, because it actually keeps it dry. Or pellet where they actually use pellet for storage. That's another thing too. They use them in sheds. Anything that doesn't have air movement. Okay. Where to place these? Most common places is basement, closets, hallways, laundry rooms, to bathroom, under or behind furnitures, air conditioner, near air conditioner in the summer, near fireplaces. Don't put too close, but around the fireplaces, house plants, in RV, like underneath the bed or underneath the furnitures in RV, because it's such a closed enclosures. They use them in like, sweaty pipes, to moisture pipes, to anything that would damp. Okay. And the tips for avoid places like near doors and windows, because that's air of movement all the time. You don't want that, because then it just defeats the purpose. Unless those things are closed all the time, then you will need to put that there. But if they're not closed all the time, no point of putting it there. Now, before I go into the video, I'm going to warn you one thing, okay? Now, there are a few people who are opposed to sea salt, because they think that sea salt is actually dangerous, and it is dangerous to people who have iodine deficiency. So if these moistures actually goes into the air, it might give people lightheaded, or chest pains, or trouble breathing, or hands and feet swelling, or leg discomfort, or limping like I am iodine deficiency. And if you need to check out that video, I'll link it right up here about iodine deficiency. Very important, okay? So, but since this is not eating, I would suggest it's okay. But here's the thing. A 4-pound bag is only $5 versus this. We got this 40-pound bag for only $6. Okay, so you can see the difference there. So if you think that if you think that sea salt is kind of dangerous when we're releasing the moisture in the air or whatever, then I would go with the silicate pellets. If you think that's more safe for you, that will be your choice, okay? But I'm gonna give you warnings ahead of time, because I can't I can't stand in either way, because then people would say that if they have iodine deficiencies, these will be dangerous because they release in the air, blah, 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 blah. It's actually not. It actually absorbs through, and then it leaks down. The only time that gets up in the air, if it goes back up. But if you seal this or have this really tight or something, you won't, because it releases upward. But then here's the thing. Water will sink down. Okay, so moisture will sink down, and that's how I got this much. I had this all the way up to here, and now it went down to here, and this is all moisture. Like, it's really wet right here. Like, look, see? It's actually wet. So if I dig my hand in there, it's actually wet. This is a lot drier because I just put that in for this video. And I made out of those. So now we got that clear. Of course, I'm going to leave everything in the description as always, because this is about learning. And if people think this is a long video, this is not a joke video. This is not about entertainment purposes. This is about learning. So if it takes you 1 million years to learn, you're going to have to take a 1 million years to learn. Like recently someone said, oh, you could have made this video shorter. Well, guess what? I made a radiation video, and it was like an hour something long. I even put a warning there, and then they complained, oh, you could have made this shorter. Well, guess what? For an hour something to learn, sometimes it takes a lifetime and you don't even learn. So an hour something is more than worth it. I believe it's more than worth it if you're learning something. But anyway, people are people just like that. Like, it's like, I don't know. But anyway, I don't want to talk about that. I don't want to get into those negative stuff. So I just want to say that this is about learning video. If you don't know how to learn, don't bother subscribing to my channel. Don't bother comment. But just, you know, you can actually block me too. So if you're one of those people and you're not learning and stuff like that, there's no need to, because my channel is about learning. So I'm going to make the video. I'm going to think what is the longest, how far it is. And sometimes, like I said, most of the time, I always tell the story ahead of time. Not just a story ahead of time, but I tell you certain things ahead of time. Sort of like how I put all together. I tried to put this under 10 minutes. And of course, it's already went over 12 minutes already. But that's the way it goes. So, that's the way life goes. That's the way how it goes. Anyway, so now I'm going to show you a little bit about this before we get into making them, okay? And how I did it, okay? And the way I did it is that I used Coca-Cola bottles. And what I did was, I'm going to show you the concept so you will know. Let me use this one because all the water, of course, is going to come down to here, okay? So we know that. I just cut this here. But you notice the difference? It's just too much. It's sink down too much, so I have to check on it all the time. I don't want that. So I made that longer. This is my better version. That was my test version. This is actually taller. And it raised up higher. You notice a difference on that. It's probably like an inch or something. So now I'm going to contain more. Okay, and it's very simple. You just cut the bottle here to the height. You drop the top. You drill a bunch of holes in them so water will leak through, including the cap. And you see moisture already. I don't know if condensations or what. And then moisture will absorb into here, and it leaks down, and it'll drip downward to there. Okay? Now, like I said, because this is in an opening, some people were opposed to that. So the best thing to do if you want, get the crystal silica pellets from cat litter. If you're opposed to using sea salt, because that's what this is. Sea salt, and also known as sodium chloride or ice melt. Okay? But because these are mine and they don't take anything out, so they leave it as natural. You can see it's all black. You can see all this and that. And sometimes people put active carbon. Now, what is active carbon? Active carbon is they use in to prevent odor. So if you use silica pellets, I suggest you to put a few of those inside, okay? Because if you see other product that they use, they actually put those in there, and it's called active carbon. Where do you get those? Fish store or Petco that they use, you know, fish stuff. Even Walmarts and Targets or all these CVS probably even sell them at the fish section. So they come in a container, and you just drop a bunch of them in to prevent smell. That's what that basically is. So if you use silica pellets, maybe put that a few in there, maybe like, you know, a little handful like this or something, and just drop it in and mix them together. That would prevent smells or odor, because that's what they do, or prevent musty odor, especially in the basement. If you do this in the basement, in a closet, I would suggest you to put those in there. But this is very simple. This is very easy, and it's cheap. Okay, like I said, even if you buy the silica pellets, which damp red, and you can find those things at the dollar store. They sell it for $1, but it's only like 5 or 6 ounces in there. Believe it or not, even if you buy from the dollar store, you can a DIY is even cheaper than the dollar store. You would think that, you know, sometimes dollar store would cost more. No. If I make out of silica gel, I can make them less than 50 cents. And plus, I get these bottles for free. So why not make them? And plus, you don't throw them away. You just, once all these are almost empty or whatever, just drop new ones in, okay? Like what I do, I dump this out. I refill on top of, you don't have to dump it, you don't have to do anything, and put it back in the same place again. Okay? So that's how easy it is to save money. Not you only save money, but you will also make it yourself. And how easy, I'm going to show you how easy it is to make them. And that's what, like I said, this has been sitting there. I don't know how long, to be honest. I'm sorry, I no longer keep time because of personal problems. And I no longer keep times. And so it's, I would say, maybe at least 3 months. I tested this about 3 months ago. At least from there, somewhere there. And that's how much I got. And this is from the basement. This was just a test. And it's kind of dark right there. Is because these are not clean. So when it comes to silica gel, silica pellet, or when it turns into like a gel, you would see a little cleaner than this. Because like I said, they don't clean these. There's no point in cleaning these because you throw them just on the street. And I believe they add sand into this too. I'm not 100% sure on that. I think they add sand into that. So, but here's the thing: 40-pound bag versus 4 pound. Like, let's say if this is silica, it would be 4 pound versus 40. You can do your math right there, and it's like around $6 to $7. Let's say this is silica and this is salt. It would have been, I don't know, you can make a lot. I mean, next to nothing. Probably like 20 cents less than that each. 40 pound, and this is like about 10 ounces total. Actually about I measure, it's about 5 ounces right here. Up to here, so I made these at 5 ounces total. So 5 ounces, well, you can do the math right there, or I'll do it and I'll link it to here or whatever. But anyway, now I am going to do the taller version because I tested on the smaller version. I didn't think that, you know, it would have been accumulate that much, and plus I didn't calculate this, so that's why I made this better. Okay, so this is a taller version. Okay, if you want it taller than that, you can actually go up to here, because look, I can still got that much left. But I made it in a way that is about 5 ounces total. This is a 5 ounces total, and this is a 2-liter Coca-Cola bottle. Okay, now a lot of people I've seen on YouTube, when they cut these, they cut them in really, I'm not going to say people are dumb or whatever, they just don't know what I know. Oops, sorry, I got to move this a little bit. They don't have the tricks that I do. Okay? The easiest trick, and please remember this tip, okay? Because you can make this, you can use this trick to a lot of things. The easiest trick, let's say this is where you cut. Okay? Let's say right here. Find a container that actually would close to that. I put that ahead of time. This is as close as I could. And you would just need a marker and a piece of tape. Okay? And this is the best trick in the world. You put that on here. Okay? And you taped it. Now this is where mass production comes in. Watch this. Spin this around. And look. Ta-da! You got your line right there. A straight, nice, straight line, right? All over. Same thing with this one. See that? Okay? So now you see one trick. Here's the next trick. I'm going to show you two tricks that you would rarely see people do. And every time they do things, oh my God, I got pissed off. I said, oh my God. There's an easier way. There's always an easier way. They just don't think of it. But hey, that's where I come in, right? To teach you guys. Okay? So now, another trick. You take a razor blade. You taped it on here. This razor blade is not that strong. But I'm going to try, okay? You need a strong one. And spin this razor blade around. First, poke it in. And then just spin around with it. Okay? And look at that. It always cut perfectly all the time, every time. Ooh, sorry if I'm on camera. Sorry about that. Okay? Now, since you're getting too close there, because now it's getting flimsy, just cut the rest with a scissor. Okay? But remember, I said it again, I'll say it again, you need to get a scissor that is really sharp. I mean, a blade that is really sharp. And you just tape it on here and do the same thing. Now, we have our thing. See that? Quick, easy, and simple. You saw how quick and easy that one was, right? Okay? And that's the smaller version. Okay? For less moisture area. So if you have less moisture area, that's what you do. Now let's go and cut this one. Same principle. I know, I should have got a sharp razor. I'm sorry I couldn't find my stash there. I have like a brand new container, like they contain 50 of them, and I don't know where it is. I'm really sorry. So we're gonna try to work with what we got. But you see the concept. I got up to here. You can use a scissor if you want. Oh, I ripped that. That's why it didn't work the way it should. Okay. But if you have a sharp one, it will be the quickest and fastest way to do those. Okay? That's it. Now you see my two tricks. And what you do is, you see this line right here? Okay? Because we don't want to go too high, because some of these pellets might fall out. So we want to go below the line. So we want it around here. Now here's another trick that I use the same trick. You measure that and see how tall it is. So I need a little bit shorter. This one. Okay? I need it around there, and look at the difference on that. So, you drop it down here. Okay? And it's the same trick we're going to use. Take your marker. Put a piece of tape on here. Okay? And all you have to do is put it around and spin. Ta-da! And you got your hole. So this is where the first hole would be. Okay? Underneath here, you will need a drill. Okay? With a small drill bit. Okay? Since I got this one done, I need to do this one as well. Let me do that one really quick. Do the same thing. I think this one got to be shorter. So let me find something even shorter than that. I don't know if I have anything shorter than that. Oh, this scale maybe. Here, there's a scale here. And just tape it on here and just go around. Ta-da! See? Quick, easy, and simple is the best trick in the world, okay? Please remember that. When you do your projects. I've seen these people sitting around cutting this, people drawing this, measuring this, using rulers to measure little dots here, little dots here, little dots here, and then try to connect them together. You could just put in something and do like that and spin. That's it. But anyway, I can't tell people what to do. They should have used their head. That's all I'm going to say. Fortunately, I use my head, and I'm going to share with you guys. I'm going to share with everybody. Okay, so average out, I make it about maybe 5-6 holes in here. There's nothing specific. One, and I do right here, another one right here. I do another one right here. It's only water leaking through, so there's no specific in the cap. Remember, the water will leak down and it melt. So there's nothing specific. They're little dots. Try to get them little as you can. Or, you know, maybe, I don't know what this size is. I'm sorry. Maybe the 5/64th or whatever it is. I'll show you once I'm done, okay? Right. I'll do just one. And look at that. See all those little holes? As long as the pellet doesn't fall through, you're all set. Now, this is where your soldering comes in. Soldering iron comes in. And use the junk ones, okay? You want to poke your first hole right here, because if you look at it, I'll bring it close. It sits right underneath it. And this is for overflowing purposes. Just overflowing purpose, in case. So you just see this, see, Coca-Cola made these little things. So we follow that, okay? Make right a hole, just a small hole, just in case. You don't need anything big. And follow that same line. That's your first. Ooh, maybe I'm out of camera. Okay, so I did it already. That's one line. I'm going to do another one right in here. I'm sorry if I get out of camera. Sometimes I forget where I am. But I usually show it anyway at the end, and hopefully. See, now I got another line. Then I follow down here one more. Okay. Then I do another tiny one. Just a tiny one. Just in case. You don't have to be specific. Ow! Okay. Well, that little thing broke. Doesn't matter anyway. I just need a small little hole. Boom. Done. Okay. So now I'm going to put it really close for you to see. Maybe I can put something inside so you can see the holes. Maybe. I don't know. You can see the little holes right here. Okay. And that's it. You don't need me to see me doing this one, do you? No. Because I just show you the trick right there. I'll do that off camera because there's no need to. Now, you take your pellets. Let's say these are your pellets. Sorry if I reach over you. Drop them in until it's full. Pellets or sea salt or whatever it is. And yes, sea salt will absorb water. I found that out by accident. We left a... ooh, this thing fell off. I should have took that off in the beginning. We left a bag of salt. We left a bag of salt in our hallway. And later on, that whole bag of salt had so much water in it. And that's when I knew that sea salt absorbed moisture. And then I said, aha! So literally we can use sea salt to do as a moisture absorber or dehumidifier. Okay? And that's your finished result. And this is the small version. And that's it. Okay? And that's it for today. And let me shut this. Actually, I'm going to make my other one off camera. But before I go, if you are looking to do this and you want to do safer, I'm going to give you a little safety before you go. Read the description and all my warnings. Because some people are allergic to a lot of things. So you are like your own doctor. So the only difference between these is silica gel and sea salt. They said that sea salt in the air, it's very hard to absorb in the air, but who knows? So I give a warning either way. That way you will get your, that way you won't yell at me. But you can always test it out, because if you live in the cold and you have sea salt,